Hello and welcome back to the channel for a Doctor Who Series 13 news update. Yes, finally we have news and a lot of it. I'm not one of those people that's sort of been complaining about the marketing or anything, God forbid. But, even as someone who hasn't been complaining, I was sort of getting to the stage, this week where I was like, starting to think, come on, I can't wait any longer. And yes, they have definitely delivered lots of news. Basically, the gist of it is that we have the air date for the first episode, the 31st of October, aka Halloween, as rumoured for, nearly a year now, ever since those filming pics with pumpkins back in November 2020 or something. We have a new promo image, we have a new teaser, we've had the Sontarans and Weeping Angels officially confirmed to be in the series. We did know this from filming pictures and etc, but it's now been officially acknowledged. And a whole lot more besides. Some very strange things going on social media and in the wider world this past week. So I guess that's where to begin, really, with this news update. Going back in time just a week to Saturday the 2nd of October, when these little glitches started to appear on television, these little teasers, which just showed 13th Doctor for a couple of seconds saying, "Can you hear me?" with this sort of distorted audio, and the picture would sort of distort as well and go into all these stripes of colour and stuff. And it would just literally be a little brief segment like that between adverts, between programmes, whatever, on BBC One. And then that teaser was repeated again on the Sunday. It was repeated throughout this week as well. And then in the meantime, on Thursday evening, just out of the blue, at 9:30, came a tweet on the official Twitter with an image of a Sontaran spaceship hovering above Liverpool. Just absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I was so surprised by it. It just caught me off guard. It's not even like they usually announce stuff at 9:30 or even in the evenings, full stop. So it was just a really nice surprise, that. And just casually confirming that the Sontarans are back as well. No sort of bells and whistles about it. Just a little image with a Sontaran ship for the fans to spot. But hey, I like that. I thought it was cool. And seeing it above Liverpool as well, which is really exciting. It's that thing with Doctor Who where you have the extraordinary juxtaposed with the very ordinary, seeing a spaceship above Liverpool at night. Kind of giving me vibes back to The Woman Who Fell to Earth, which is a story that I really like. So hopefully, we're going to get some similar sort of vibes in the first episode of Series 13. Because as well, accompanying this image on certain news websites, there was this press release confirming that Series 13 begins in Liverpool. This is where this massive 6-episode long story actually begins. There was also a thing in that press release that sort of seemed to suggest that this spaceship was an actual thing, actually being projected above Liverpool on Thursday evening up until midnight. But then people who actually live in Liverpool who went to go and have a look said there wasn't anything there. So not quite sure what was going on there. And as well, there was an image on the official website which kind of showed someone taking a photo of the spaceship on their phone, as if to suggest, again, that it was actually something you could go and visit, but it would appear not. So yeah, not quite sure what's going on there. Maybe that's not the last we've seen of this spaceship. Maybe they are going to do more stuff with it, or if not with the spaceship, with other stuff, like taking a TARDIS to Liverpool to promote the series or something like that, or holding a premiere there for the first episode like they did with Series 11 in Sheffield. So we got that. It wasn't a trailer, it wasn't an air date announcement or anything like that, anything grandiose really, but nice enough in its own right. And then Friday came around, and these glitch teasers were being shown on TV on Friday as well, as they had been throughout the week. And then an interesting thing happened at 5 o'clock on the official Twitter and social media accounts. Namely, this little teaser video clip was uploaded to the social media accounts at 5 PM. Then at 5:45, a message came saying, "Can you hear me?" with sort of weird plus signs and stuff, as if to look like it was some sort of, computer hack thing. "Can you hear me?" obviously being the line the Doctor says in this teaser. So they'd finally officially acknowledged the teaser, which had been airing throughout the week on BBC One. Again, like with the Sontarans, it wasn't something they'd officially acknowledged up until this point. And then at 6 PM, something even stranger happened. All of the official social media accounts for Doctor Who just went offline. Twitter wasn't loading, Facebook wasn't loading, Instagram wasn't loading. On YouTube, all the videos disappeared, and the profile picture went black, and the cover art as well. And yeah, it was just really, really bizarre. But it got people talking, and it built up hype and speculation about what was going to happen, about when the accounts were going to come back online, about what would be different about the accounts when they did come back, whether the Series 13 trailer might have just appeared there by the time they came back. I did actually joke at the time that, what will probably happen is the accounts will just come back and the profile picture will just be a different colour, and that'll be the only difference. And that sort of happened. But no, I'm getting ahead of myself there. There was some other stuff that happened on Saturday to cover first of all. So some weird stuff started to happen in Liverpool. We got these reports on Twitter and social media about the glitch teaser being shown on billboards with the tagline, "It's coming, be ready," which had also been included in the press release when the Sontaran image came out and possibly mentioned in a few other places as well. And then a bit later in the day, we got reports of another smaller billboard. This billboard with the Sontaran image and some text saying, if you have information on this, call this phone number or something along those lines. The phone number was 0800 678 3110, and calling it would bring you this voicemail message from the Doctor herself about these alien sightings and an invasion happening imminently and all this sort of stuff. And then the big news came at 6 PM, so 24 hours after the blackout had started. The blackout ended, the social media accounts came back with a different coloured profile picture as I had predicted, and initially that was literally the only change, the profile picture just having a slightly darker orange behind the logo. And then come 6:45, just 45 minutes later, we got the big influx of news. So as that phone number had seemed to suggest, with the 3110 or 3110 as the last few digits, we got it confirmed that the series would be starting on Halloween this year, which I have to say took me by surprise. I was not expecting them to actually go down that route. I know it's something that a lot of fans have been sort of campaigning for. Just generally, a Halloween special for Doctor Who is something that people have wanted to see. That's not something that I've been clamouring for myself. I can sort of get, why that might work for a particularly scary episode. But I also thought they'd probably think it was too much of a risk to start it on Halloween with kids trick-or-treating or whatever. But I mean, that's not the be-all and end-all by any means, And besides, there's iPlayer in any case. So, I'm not actually concerned about that, to be honest. I just thought beforehand that perhaps that might put them off. But no, they've gone with it. And obviously, it was always a possibility with Halloween being on a Sunday this year. So yeah, they've just lent into that and really gone down that angle, it would seem, of sort of having a Halloween tie-in. There have been tweets with Halloween being mentioned by the BBC press office and, pumpkin emojis appearing on the official account. So it does seem they are going down that angle of not having a Halloween special as such, but having a Halloween tie-in. Yeah, interested to see how that one pans out, really. Then as well as this, we got the teaser that I've mentioned, which was distinct from the glitch teaser, but it was very much in that same style as the glitch teaser. So, you have your coloured stripes and distortion and whatever, and it's this, I don't know how to describe it really, other than just a vlog, basically, from the Doctor. There's this camera set up with the Doctor speaking to camera, Yaz and Dan in the background doing stuff with the TARDIS console, trying to keep it in order or whatever, I think. And the Doctor just speaking to the camera, speaking to the viewer very urgently, talking about something called the Flux. She says the Flux is coming. And it's bringing with it the Sontarans, the Weeping Angels, creatures called the Ravagers. Lots to digest. I mean, obviously, yeah, we knew the Sontarans and Weeping Angels were coming back, as I said. But yeah, wow. I mean, having them in the same sentence like that is still quite a striking thing. And having them talked about almost as one thing as well, or part of this bigger threat, the Flux, which is the title of Series 13 as well. Another part of the jigsaw of information we've been given in this round of announcements. But what does it all mean? People have suggested that it might be to do with like timelines and stuff. I think there's already established stuff in the extended universe about something called the Flux, or at least a phenomenon called the Flux, about timelines and stuff changing about and being in flux, as the name might suggest. I mean, that's the obvious thing, that sort of idea of flux, of being in between two states, of being in a state of change. That makes me immediately think of regeneration. You know, obviously this is the 13th Doctor's final series, so is it going to lean into that idea of change? Maybe the whole universe is morphing into something different along with the Doctor herself? Who knows? But you know, that's the sort of stuff that immediately comes to mind for me. I mean, it's probably wrong, you know, there's probably stuff we don't even know about yet that will make this make more sense eventually, but that's my initial thoughts on that. I love as well that, you know, in the vein of Trial of a Time Lord, in the vein of The Key to Time, that this season-long story, that is Series 13, has its own title, or at least subtitle. It just makes it feel all the more epic, all the more like a real event, you know, event television, Doctor Who Flux. In fact, the official Twitter has changed its name now from Doctor Who to Doctor Who :Flux. So now every single tweet that comes out is going to be Doctor Who Flux rather than Doctor Who. It seems they're really pushing that angle, you know, of this not just being another series of Doctor Who, but its own thing in its own right, you know, like a film or a brand new television series, you know, like Vigil, for example, a recent example of a new BBC television series. I think from a marketing point of view, that, you know, very short, snappy, one-word title is probably going to help. You know, it's like Children of Earth, or, you know, Trial of the Time Lord, or Key to Time, whatever, but shorter, snappier, you know, just that one word, very easy to remember, and very easy to advertise, Doctor Who Flux. So I think that's tremendously exciting. But that's just about it, really. I mean, aside from the new promotional image of the 13th Doctor, which I have sort of touched on already. But just to reiterate, it's gorgeous, it's lovely. I love that they've really lent into the idea of the stripes on the 13th Doctor's t-shirt being part of the marketing this time round. And yeah, the image has a really lovely look to it, more like a sort of illustration than previous promo images. You know, you sometimes get promo images that are sort of very obviously airbrushed, you know, things like the Series 6 Part 2 image springs to mind. But this is a nice halfway house between, you know, real images and more of an illustration look to it, which is very appealing and very nice. So that's your Series 13 news dump for the past week or so, and my thoughts on each of the items concerned. But what do you think about all these things? What do you think about the series premiering on Halloween? What do you think of the promo image? What do you think of the teaser and the weird stuff they've been doing with the glitch on BBC One and the billboards in Liverpool and the thing where you can phone up the Doctor? And did you know about all this stuff before watching the video? I'd be interested to see how much of it has sort of broken out into the world. Be sure to let me know all that stuff in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you've got to say. Please also like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.